Yo, what's up, guys? So, about 2 years ago, it'll be 2 years in January. This was maybe a few weeks or a month before I started my YouTube channel. Anyway, I did a thing with Spidey. I mean, you all know Spidey Hypnosis, mentalist. Now, what he was doing is a thing called Live with Spidey, and what it was is he would reach out to people and he would have them submit a trick. If he liked the trick, if he liked what you had to say, he would feature you on his live stream and you would do a trick for Spidey. I was fortunate enough to be featured on one of those streams, and so what we'll do today is we'll watch it together and I'll sort of react to it and we'll see how cringe it was and we'll show you how nervous I was. At least it was a little bit cringe for me. You be the judge. However, it was a fire trick. And so what I'll do after we watch it together, I will teach you the trick, and it's going to be a good time. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into this. Let's see how things go. It's like I'm reliving how nervous I was back when I did this. So let's get right into it.
Glad you guys enjoyed that. Let's keep rolling. Our next guest is also from the States, and he's going to do one of my favorite plots in Card Magic. When he
One of his
commented
favorite plots.
to be on the stream,
I don't know if
I
that's true
had
or
to do
not.
this because
He's such a nice guy.
We've never had a performance of this on the stream, and it's one of my favorite sort of. There's so many different versions of it, but I guess my favorite plot, one of my favorite plots in Magic.
No pressure.
So
No
let's
pressure.
welcome to the stream, everyone, Mr. Sean. Oh, let me do this. Sean Devine, how are you, my friend?
Woo!
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, dude. This looks a
Man.
lot smoother because you were on your phone earlier, but this looks really, really good.
Cool.
It doesn't look like it, but I was
So, Sean, you're gonna
extremely
do,
nervous.
I don't even know so much the history on this trick. It's one of those things where I really enjoy watching it, but I don't know a whole lot about the history of this. But it's a really, really old plot in Magic, isn't it?
Yeah. Originally it was in Greater Magic, actually. It goes that far.
It's true.
Yeah. When was that published? We're talking like
Yeah, it was like,
decades ago.
yeah, it was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
What a long time ago, guys. Like there were like, I think it was during the Egyptians. I'm not saying the
I love
ancient
this.
Egyptians, but there were definitely Egyptian people around when this was created. I'm giving us a
Since
little
then,
history.
there's been no more
You don't
Egyptian
know how old
people.
it is, but
Ever.
It's called Sympathetic 13. There's a lot of different versions of it.
I don't know what he was talking
Sean,
about
I
there.
thought when you said you were going to do it that I was going to see wine glasses, but I'm not seeing wine glasses.
Actually, this is my own version of it. It's impromptu close-up, so it just uses 5 cards instead of the normal 13s.
So it's a Sympathetic 5.
Exactly, yes.
It almost sounds like a band of superheroes. The
Like that.
Fantastic
Such a
Four,
nerd.
the Sympathetic
Such a
5.
nerd.
Sean, we can't wait to see it. We're all very excited. I'm going to give you the stage. We are watching.
So look,
Nervous.
life is all about choices, right? We make choices every day. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, every day.
I'm feeling pretty good about this outcome tonight. So your first choice is which packet would you
My
like to use,
voice
the red
choice.
or the blue?
The Jerry's Nuggets, bro.
Man, I was so
Awesome.
nervous.
Those
I
are
was
cards,
like
red.
forgetting. I was
Those
going
would be
blank.
mine. Now what I'm going to do is arrange these cards in what I feel like is an arrangement that's unique to you, Spidey. So let's see, we got this one here, maybe this one. See, it's different every time. It's
The thing is, I was so nervous. I was like, I was going blank. I was like, my heart was beating so fast. And in fact, my legs were going so numb. I don't know why I was so nervous. It's just Spidey. It's just doing a card trick. But I think it was because I've never been really on camera before. You know, it was before I started my YouTube channel, so it was like stage fright and talking to Spidey. So those things combined, and you know, fear messing with the trick because I've never done this trick before live, so I had all of this going for me, and the pressure was on. So let's get back into it.
just based off of the vibes that I get. Yeah, I think this will be perfect for you. So look, ace through 5.
Stuttering.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have explained that. It's ace through 5, both packets in order.
Very important when we do this trick. We have to explain what the cards are. Just 5 random cards doesn't matter, but it's very important to explain that they're 2 packets of cards which consist of ace through 5 in order, which they do at this point.
So look, what I'm going to do is place a card down, or I can switch them first. Every decision is up to you, all right?
Yep.
So all I gotta do is say deal or switch.
Okay, switch.
All right, switch. Deal or switch.
Deal.
Deal. All right, deal or switch.
Switch.
All right. Now look, I didn't want to put any pressure on you, Spidey, but the goal is to match my cards. And honestly, I don't feel like we're quite there yet. So I really want you to use your Spidey senses and really focus on this package.
Totally original line.
All right, I know you can do it. Let's try it again. Deal or switch.
Switch.
All right. Deal or switch.
Deal.
Deal. All right. Deal or switch.
Sean, before we do it, can you just tilt a little this way so when we could see what's going on? Yeah, like that. Let's switch those. Yeah, exactly. So there we saw. Perfect. That you switched.
He's totally right. As soon as he said that, I've been doing it the way he said from that moment on, and it's such a good. He's such a good teacher, you know.
Excellent.
All right, cool. So look, it would be remarkable if we got at least one match, wouldn't you say? After all that.
I would be blown away. I would fall to the ground.
Look, you notice I put one card aside earlier.
Yeah.
It's actually my lucky card. I have it tattooed right there. It's the two of spades.
It's true, I do. It's right there.
Yeah. If you were here, I would just let you pick a card. But since we can't do that, let's just cut the cards. How many cards should we cut? It can be any amount you want.
Let's cut two.
Cut two cards. Look, two cards.
Yeah.
Was that fair?
As fair as it gets.
Look, the top card. The card that you cut to.
No!
Right then he was fooled. I know
I've
it.
been mind manipulated.
Look at
Not
him.
all that. But look, we said that these cards matter the most. We wanted to get some matches. What about the rest? Think about all those choices. Mixed deal, right? Look. There's the 4.
Oh, man. So good.
There's the 8. There's the 5. And there's the 3. A perfect match.
Whoa. I've been mind
What do you think?
effed.
Do you think Spidey is fooled right now? Let me know in the comments.
Hold on. I'm just sort of dealing with the comments that are coming in. Sean, check it out.
Spidey, if you're watching
I'm
this, let me
seeing
know
those
if you were fooled
comments.
by this.
Dude, that was so good. That was so good. So clean. So concise.
So
I love that. I love
concise.
tricks that, like, where the spectator doesn't have to do mental gymnastics to follow the plot. That was so simple, so to the point. Boom, boom. Look at that. They're just pouring
Well,
in.
Sir Spidey, I'm glad you
That's
enjoyed
awesome.
it.
I can't
And
even
by the
keep
way,
up.
it was a pleasure to be on your
I can't keep
channel.
up.
Oh
I
man,
literally can't keep up.
I wish I was. I
That's
wish
so
it was a
cool. I
little
can't
bit
believe
smoother.
that.
Let's throw up your socials. This is your Instagram.
That's my Instagram.
Follow
Sean
me there if
P.
you want to.
Divine, ladies and gentlemen, and that was indeed divine. What an appropriate last name you've given yourself.
It's my real
Spidey,
last name.
what an original line to say to me.
What's that?
Is that your legit last name?
It really is. Yeah, I can show you my ID right now.
It's
No,
true. It
that's
is my real
incredible.
last name,
Like,
guys. It really is.
What a great coincidence that is your last name, because that was indeed divine.
Wow, thank you.
Guys, go give him a follow.
It was indeed divine.
I think that's incredible. Now, Sean, I'd like to show you a trick.
Too bad. Alright, so there was the routine. I hope you enjoyed watching it. A little bit of history on this routine, as Spidey and I were kind of discussing. I was taken aback because I was so fanboy starstruck by Spidey. I just completely forgot everything I've ever read about card magic. He was saying it usually uses wine glasses, which is true, and the original routine is gimmicked. It uses double facers, and it was originally published in Greater Magic in 1938 by Nate Leipzig. Leipzig. It was called Sympathetic Clubs. If you want to check that out, Greater Magic is a great resource. The one I was doing is my own variation that I came up with, and it's inspired by an old Alex Emsley routine, which is inspired by that one. He calls it Mini Milton, and that can be found in the collected works of Alex Emsley, Volume 1. His routine does use the 5 cards, but it's a lot different, and I've made it a little bit easier to do. It's almost in fact, it is self-working. Anyway, I've talked long enough, so let's get right into the explanation of this routine. So, through the years of performing this, I have found that using a regular deck of cards, it does work and you can do that. However, I've found that it just takes a long time to get into because you have to take out the ace through 5 of each suit like this, and then you're just going through cards like this. And there's a lot of like silent time, and there's not really a whole lot of pattern you can go along while you're doing all this. So what I've decided to do instead is use a different kind of approach, and it is using a packet wallet. You can find these for about $10 on any Magic store, and we just have the 2 packets ready. And instead of using regular cards, what we can do instead is use ESP cards. Again, you can find these at any Magic retailer, Vanishing Ink, Penguin Magic, all those places sell them. And the 5 ESP cards are the star, the square, wavy lines, plus, and the circle. So that's your setup. You just want to have them both in order like this, and you're ready to rock and roll. Any which way you do it, if you want to use, you don't even have to use cards. You can do any sort of, business cards, whatever you want to do. But I'll teach you the basic technique with these ESP cards, all right? So for performance, what you want to do is just take this wallet out, and you want to start talking about ESP. And you want to show that both packets are in order like this. So just like the ace through 5, these ESP cards are sort of numbered in a way in terms of lines, all right? So you can see the circle is just one line made up of a circle, so that would be ace. The cross is a 2 because there's only 2 lines. The wavy lines, of course, is a 3 because there's 3 wavy lines. The square is the 4 because there's 4 lines made up of the square. And the 5 is a star because there's 5 lines in a star. Of course, you don't explain that to your spectator. I'm just telling you that right now. Okay, so the performance, what you want to do is say, look, I'm going to arrange my cards in a very, specific order, and we'll see what we can do here, right? So what you're going to do here is the order you want to do is arrange them in 4, ace, 5, 3, all right? So like I was saying with the lines, it would be 4, ace, 5, and 3. Now with the 2, you're going to use that as your prediction, as you saw in the video, all right? So as you, whenever you arrange them like this, 4, ace, 5, 3, turn the packet down and just take that cross off. Don't show it yet, but just put it right there. And don't call attention to it. Don't call it a prediction. Just put it right there. Nobody's ever questioned that. I just put it there and say we'll move on. So here's one of my favorite parts about this trick. You're going to set up this packet as you're explaining what's going to happen, all right? So this is the part of the trick that I spent most time trying to brainstorm on, and this is what I came up with, all right? So what's going to happen is you're going to tell the participant that you're going to either deal a card straight down or you will switch them first, all right? So as you're saying that, just deal a card straight down and then say, or I can switch them first, all right? So just take the 2 top cards off and just switch them like this. And funny enough, that doesn't do anything. It just, it looks like you're mixing, but it doesn't do anything because all you're doing is this. That goes there. And if you were to just do this, it does the same thing. So it's like, it looks like a mix, but it actually doesn't do anything, all right? So again, you're like this. And let me see if I'm correct here. Yeah. So you say, look, I'll deal a card straight down, or I can mix them first like this. And you say, it's all up to you. And then when you say it's all up to you, just drop these 2 last cards on top of the pile. So again, real time, it would look and sound like this, all right? So if I were doing this for Spidey again, I'd be like, now Spidey, I can either deal a card straight down, or I can mix them first, all right? It's all up to you. So the situation of the packet now is that you have 1, 2, 3, 5, and 4, all right? So that's the starting position. All right, now when you pick the packet up, it's very logical to sort of put the cards back how they were. However, that's not going to happen. You're just going to casually do it and not really call attention to it, all right? So you're going to sort of do a count. It's kind of like an Elmsley count. It's very easy. All you do is push 1 card aside, do a block push off of those 3 cards, and put that last card back on top. So again, you've just done the demonstration. You pick the packet up as you're talking. You say, look, are you ready to go? You want to get into it? And I've just done the count is 1, 3, 1. All right. So push 1 card, block push over, put the last card on top. So now we will get into the participant making all the choices of dealing or switching. And funny enough, all the choices makes no difference. It doesn't do anything to the packet. And this technique or this principle is called the Swindle Switch by Paul Curry. Basically what happens is this: they can do anything. They can deal switch, switch, and then we'll do it again. I don't feel like we're quite there yet, blah, 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 as you've seen in the performance. Switch, deal, switch. Now, that doesn't do anything. All that's happening is you're reversing the order of the packet. So the only thing that did to this packet was reverse the order twice, all right? So you do it twice, it just remains how it was before you started, all right? So after you've done the deal mix procedure twice, you're going to pick these up and say, look, we mix the cards up, all right? So you mix them in a way that nobody could have predicted beforehand, but we didn't cut the cards, all right? So you always have to cut the cards after you mix them. And what you're going to do here is force that square in this packet, and after all that shuffling and whatever, it's always going to be in the second position from the bottom, all right? So you're going to force it with a really nice cutting procedure like this. So you ask them, how many cards would you like to cut? It's up to you. It can be as many cards as you want. Now, the cool thing about this also is they can name 1, 2, 3, or 4. Obviously, they can't name 5 because you can't cut a packet of 5 cards. There is 5 cards. So if they name 1, what you're going to do is just take 1 card from the bottom and put it on top, and that gives you the force card there on the face that they apparently cut to you, right? If they say 4, you do the same thing. You just take 4 cards off the top and put it on the bottom. So it's the same thing. It's just how you say it, right? So if they say 1, put the 1 card on top. If they say 4, put the 4 cards on bottom. Same thing. You just frame it differently, right? So if they say 4, boom, do this, and they cut to the cross. Now, just like 1 and 4 are the same, 2 and 3 are also the same. Spidey said 2, so that was perfect. I cut 2 cards from the bottom and put it on top, giving me the plus on top. If he would have said 3, I would have just took 3 cards off the top and put it on the bottom, and it would have been the same thing. So either way, it might seem like a lot to remember, but it's really not. Once you start playing with it and getting used to it, it's not very hard to remember and grasp. So after they've named the number of how many cards they want to cut, you put that face up right there next to that one, and you put these next to those. Now, you say, look, remember I put that card here earlier. Remember, keep in mind, you could have mixed, dealt, however many cards you wanted to. Everything was up to you, and you could have had the option to cut 2, 3, 4, however many cards you wanted to, but you cut 3 cards there. I knew that you would cut 3 cards because, look, over here, I also have a matching card, the cross. Now, after they're done reacting to that, as Spidey did, he was blown away by it, I think. It is a great moment. And after they've, chilled out there, you say, look, but remember, I set these cards in a very specific order, an order that I thought would fit you perfectly. And remember, you could have dealt switch. One card less would have made the world of a difference, all right? So what do we have here? The top card, look, they're both squares. I knew you'd pick the square on the first card. What about the second, the circle? See, I knew it, and I think I could get lucky, the star, and a perfect match of all 5 cards. Alright, so that'll do for today's video. If you like this sort of reaction type format, let me know in the comments and we can do more of them. If not, let me know as well and we won't do any more of them. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It does mean the world to me, and if you could leave a comment, like this video, sub to the channel, it helps me out more than you might think. Until next time, happy practicing. I love you guys.